All right, so today is February 6, 2024, and I'm just going to put together a quick indicator that will give you the largest bid size or ask size in a particular given candle. This is something I've looked at a lot over the course of the past several months, year or so, is when I see large ask or bid sizes come in, then it's typically an indication that there's going to be a move. But let me show you what the problem is. Let's see. The problem, bid and ask largest per bar. The problem is that, say on this chart. Ooh, what happened on that chart? Oh, I made an indicator. I made a strategy. I think it was last night, and it was to buy inside bars. It wasn't. I don't think I designed it for the 1 minute time frame. I think I designed it for the 5 minute time frame. But either way, on the shorter term, over the course of like the last 10 days or so, it did pretty good. But then when I stretched it out over, say, 100 days, it didn't do so hot. So I don't know. Oh wow. So again, if you were to use this indicator, I think I set this up for the 1 minute, for the 5 minute time frame though. But if you were to use this on the 1 minute time frame, looking back from January 23rd till now, I mean, that equity curve looks fantastic. But I was having some issues with it. I had a profit target set up. Between the profit target and between having a trailing stop, it didn't seem to perform properly. So I'm not really sure what was going on there, but 100% profitable, that doesn't sound right. Well, I mean, but technically, because I had a stop in there that was a trailing stop, but I believe I took the trailing stop out because I read on some forums that the trailing stop for TradeStation doesn't seem to work too well. I think it's called set dollar trailing. It doesn't seem to work too well, so I stopped using that. So why am I 100% profitable? That doesn't even make sense. I mean, that's great if it is, but... And then I was getting issues like this where you would get in on this bar and then it gets out on that bar. I mean, super small kind of scalps, which I ran the performance optimization report, and I think this is what it was calling for, but still, I think that's taken entirely too quickly. Okay, so here, inside bar, we bought it here. It should have stopped out, right? It should have stopped out somewhere. So I think the stop is not working. Yeah, it took profit here. Like, there's no way you're holding on from here all the way down through this to take profit just 2 ticks above where you got in at. Yeah, so there's something wrong with this script. I'm gonna just glance at it real quick. See what it might be. Yeah, so I set the stop contract. I did take off the dollar trailing, but I also took off the stop loss. So yeah, it's going to be 100% profitability because I have no stops. So we're going to leave the set dollar trailing away. We're going to turn that back on, and then it turns funky. Then we get a funky curve. All right, so we're up 462. That sounds more like what I saw yesterday. Yeah, and you know, that's not a terrible curve. That's not a terrible curve. I don't like that drawdown there, but yeah, not a terrible curve. Okay, but again, something still isn't working quite right because it's not holding on to anything. Like I said, I think there must be a glitch or something in the system now. Anything that I've done with regular shares, I don't seem to have any problems. But when I switched over to futures, now it doesn't seem to be working quite right. So I was going to put in an order ticket to see if I can find out what's going on with that. All right. Nevertheless, I digress, and we'll move on to the rest. So we're going to do, okay, so let's come back here. and just wanted to show you that. Okay, over here where we have tick activity, so this is an indicator that I made to give you an idea of what's going on with the amount of ticks. So the amount of transactions, the amount of moves, every tick is counted and it's recorded here, right? I don't know why I have a different one for tick activity 2. Maybe now I can go ahead and clean that up, but that doesn't give you an idea of what's going on with the ask size. The bid ask size is up here, but watch this. Watch this. Some of the times you'll see a real high spike here, and then it'll come back down, and this line will close elsewhere. Doesn't seem to be doing that now. I don't think that you can definitely see it on the time charts. That was a tick chart, but look at the time chart. So this is a 15-second bar. So as this bar is being set up, you have the bid and ask size moving around. It moves around throughout the whole course of the 15 seconds. But now when the bar closes, whatever price this is when the bar closes, that's what this stops at. So even though this looks high here, it could actually be higher. And then even though this looks low here, it could actually be higher because it actually is not. You see how it spiked up real high there? So now I'd be curious of what's going to happen right in here, right? Because we had a high spike up similar to the height of this. But again, you're not going to be able to capture this. You see there, it stretched up, but then it dropped back down. And none of the indicators that are already set up in TradeStation will, none of them actually show you that information. And the bid and the ask are current data, they're live data. It's not historical data. So if you don't have the chart open, it won't show you what happened back here. See, that one stayed at the top. But again, that level may not be that significant compared to that. But we want to capture the really high peaks. But again, the really high peak may happen in a fraction of a second. And if you don't capture that tick, and you're not even looking at the bid and the ask like that, then you won't know what happened. All right, so if you go over here, I've had this chart open since probably 7 o'clock. See back here prior to 6:30 or so, there's no data here. That's because it does not capture historical. It does not provide you with historical data. You have to actually have your chart, your computer on. So that's what I'm setting up to do today, is to make an indicator that will capture the highest of the ask and the highest of the bid. And for it to be down this low, coming on down here, if it wants to do a retest or something like that, I imagine that this ask, whatever the ask or the bid is, has got to be pretty high to push it up. But you see, you have a cluster coming in there, a cluster of time periods where it's fairly high. And what happened at this cluster right here? There's a little bit of a push up. How do you trade it? I don't know. But the more data I get, the more that I see, the better I have an idea of what to do with it. So right now I just need to, I'm just getting my tools together, right? So before you do a job or something, you want to have all your tools together. You want to have your tools in place. You want to know that they function properly. And that way you can figure out what you're working with. So let's get into it. And I'll probably put my music on, so I'll just put all this on mute so you can fast forward ahead if you need to. And don't mind me, I'm gonna be over here. All right, let me get this on mute. All right, so his here is saying that if the bar status of 1, so of the data stream 1, if the bar status there is equal to being inside the bar, if it's a 1, so a 0 is the start of the bar, 1 is within the bar, and 2 is outside the bar. We'll say if it's 1 or 0, if it's we'll say if it's less than or equal to 1, so that way it'll capture the first tick as well. Then what are we going to do? We're going to capture the ass will be equal to or plus or equal to all right, so now we're gonna have to start an array or a stack. So do I want to do an array or a stack? They're both collections. They're both going to collect multiple pieces of data. What you can do with them is, so once we get the data, we want to look for the highest. So we want to do a max. I know I can do a max with an array. It's array max or max array. No, it's extreme array, something like that. Like I said, I just started using these arrays and vectors a lot last week, so still getting comfortable with the different functions that are already established. I know that there's an extreme array, so essentially with the extreme array we're going to find out, well, we could do it a different way. So we could just say if the bar status equals 1, then yeah, let's do it a much simpler way. We're just going to capture the largest value of the ask. So if the bar status is less than or equal to 1, then cap A equals ask size. All right. if cap A is larger than cap A bar ago, then cap A equals cap A, else cap A equals cap A of a bar ago. So we're just saying that if the current ass size is larger than the we're saying that if the current ass size is larger than the ass size of bar ago, then the current ass size will be the new value, or else the last value will be equal to the current held size. All right, so if that, then cap A equals ass size, we can put this out here. No, because we have to update it. Begin, else A, cap A, we're going to store that, and then we're going to end. Okay, and then we'll say if bar status, so now we're at the end of the bar status of the first interval is equal to 2, which is the last tick of the bar, then plot cap A. Plot 1 cap A. We're going to make the ass, let's make it red. I think that's what we want to do. Okay, and then once we get done using that information, now we can reset cap A to 0. Okay, and then I'll verify that. Oh, I didn't declare anything, actually. Okay, and now we'll go and add it to the chart. I want to add it to this chart. Yeah, we'll add it to this chart. We'll put it just above this one so you can see. I will get rid of this one for now. I've got to go back and look at this script. This script isn't doing a lot, so I'm seeming to think that maybe it's not doing what I was looking for it to do. I know it started off doing what I wanted to do, but then subsequently it seemed to stop doing that. All right, so we're going to disable that. We're going to come over here. We're going to do bid ask largest per bar. Oh, this has to be intrabar persist. So this just means that this just will keep updating with every bar within the bar. Update value intra tick. You have to do that, and that was one of the pieces that I didn't know before. Also, like I said, working with this stuff every single day, I get a little better, get a little bit better, and yeah, learn more. All right, so now whatever I think the red one is the ass. Well, it's not moving at all. Well, it's only going to move once we get to the end of the bar, actually. That was... I'd expect a little jump here. Nope, plotting at 0. Oh, no. I was going to say maybe here because we reset it to 0, but no, we started it at 0, and then we say if the bar status of 1 is less than or equal to 1, which means that it's inside the tick or it's the beginning of the tick, then we're going to begin. We're going to do cap A is equal to ass size. Make sure I got the right definition of ass size, the right thing. Cap A equals ass size. If cap A is greater than cap A of a bar go, then cap A equals cap A. Well, I think I know part of what it's doing. It's resetting every time. We went, okay, say we got to the first tick here. Now we're thinking that we're going to and working on the second tick here. No, we're not working on the second and the subsequent ticks until we get through this statement again. And to come to this statement again, we're actually resetting the cap A with every intra tick. And this can't be 0 after every tick. That's what puts us at 0. I think this has to be up here. We're going to plot it. If it's 2, if the bar status is 2, the end of the bar, then we need to begin. We're going to plot, and then we're going to reset that cap A, and then we'll end it. Well, I definitely know that we need to do that now. Whether or not we still have some other issues, I don't know. We'll wait for this bar to close. Nope, still put me at 0. So if bar status of 1 is 2, then begin plot 1 cap A. All right, so here we said cap A is equal to ass size. Cap A is going to be equal to the ass size, which that's not right. We'll say if bar status of 1 is equal to 0. And I've never used it this way before, so let me check, make sure that I'm not doing something wrong. An error occurred while executing the reserve word. That shouldn't be happening. Opening of a tick bar, relevant only for strategies using open next bar. The way they put that there, we can just leave this as 1. Equal to 1. That equals 1. Well, if we assign it to 1 every single time, then again, I think we're going to end up right where we are now with a value that essentially doesn't move. And I think that's why we have to use the array or the stack. And again, because we don't really have any historical data, we can't refer back. And that is why I haven't been able to do this for over a year, because you got to store it. So I might have to get a little bit of help getting this one done. Let's see what we have. All right. I'm going to declare a vector. Vector, we call it we'll call it cap A. There it is, null. I don't even know if we need this. If we do, I'll just rewrite it. All right, so looks like we do. Our status 1 1, then begin. We need to do a pushback. So we're going to add it to the top of the vector. And then we'll count the vector. Now, the vector, we got to find out if we can, I don't know if you can find the max in the vector. I know you can do it with an array. So maybe we need to do this as an array, because we got to be able to find the max in the vector. It's front, pop back, clear, empty, erase. Well, let me try it with an array. Again, like I said, this is something that I feel like is really valuable. I might get it working, then I feel like I see that it's not valuable at all. But I feel like I said, I've been a year waiting to be able to do this or have the knowledge to do this. So if it takes me a few minutes to do it, then that's okay. All right, so array. We're going to do a cap array. How many places? We'll say 5. We'll start off with 5, and then we'll just update that. Since we're doing a single dimension array, we can update the max, and we'll just do that every time within the tick. Hopefully that's not that big a deal to use up the computer processor. All right, so if bar status equals 1, then begin. We're going to say the a cap. First, we're going to add 1 to the count A, because we're going to have to do this with the bids as well. Count A plus equals 1, and then we'll do a cap A of count A equal as size. So now we stored the first tick. Now we just need to repeat that. So for every bar status we get, we will add to the ASS, add the ASS size to the count A. But to make sure that we don't run out of space in the array, because the array is starting off at only 5 spaces, we need to update the max of the array. So we're going to update the max of the array to whatever the count A is. And then that way it'll always stay like 5 bars. It should always stay 5 bars ahead. Well, if we put that. All right, so we'll do a cap array dot set max. Oh, wait a minute, I know there's a function to set max array. Set max set max. This will be a dynamic array, so we won't declare it. Gotcha. All right, so that's why I come here every day, 'cause I keep learning stuff. What can I do? What can I do? Fix dynamic arrays. Dang it, you just sent me from there. Array set max index. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we do that, and then we'll do array name, cap A, and then what is going to be the number of storage places that we need? We're going to need at least count A, which is going to be how many ever we are counting up to, how many ever ticks we get. So count A is going to pretty much keep a track of how many ticks that we have. And so we need our array to at least carry as many ticks as we have, right? So we're just going to stay one step ahead of it. So we're going to do count A plus 1. All right, and then so now down here, now we are assigning the ass size to the array at that index, at this index. Remember, we're always staying one step ahead of it. Okay, and so now when we get down here, I think actually we can technically end this, but then when we get to bar status 2, which is the close of the bar, then we want to plot. We have to do a max, like it's max. I think it's extreme, array extreme, something another. Arrays set max index. Oh. And you would think it'd be here, right? With everything else. But it's extreme array something. This is similar, but this is not it. It's actually for a dynamic array, so it's gonna be this works here for a static array, I believe, not for a dynamic array. Yeah, one-dimensional arrays. Well, it doesn't say static array though. Array. Only thing I don't like about this is that you have to declare these things here. You kind of have to take that whole excerpt there. Take that, declare all these things up here. All right. And we can leave value 1 as that. We can leave all that. And then we don't need the position. We don't need the number of bars ago that the max happened, but we do want what the actual value is. Now we go back to array. What are we looking for as far as the high-low? 1 is the highest. -1 is the lowest. So we need a 1. So extremes array. So we're going to take this. I don't think we need to declare that as a variable. I'll take this and put it right. Where are we looking for the max at? We're looking for the max right here. Right here. Did I get everything? I didn't get everything. Everything. Copy it. Right there. All right. Now, extremes array. What's the name of the array? It's A cap A. How many indexes? How many indexes does it have? What's the count? We need to do array count. A cap A dot count. Not giving me my my method. It should be offering a count function to count how many. Well, actually, no, it won't, because an array doesn't. Well, I mean, it probably should, but you don't count how many things are in an array. You count how many things are in a vector. An array, you already know how many things are in it because you've assigned it. And here we've assigned it. So we're going to use that number there as far as how many are in the array. So a cap A, oh, I did have it already, and I put it twice. I think that's supposed to be there. A cap A. A cap A. And then the count, how many was in the array? Count A, that's how many is in the array. Okay, and then we want the highest. -1 would be the lowest, that's the highest. Okay, so we have the array, we have how many is in it, we have that we want the highest, and then there we can output the extreme or the raw, which, so actually, yeah, we need to just take this all out. We'll assign this to value 1 right here. We'll get rid of this one. And then we'll put value 1 right here. Okay. All right, now that we're done with that, we need to reset count A, because when it goes back into the, if it's a bar 2, if it's the final bar, right? If it's the final tick of the bar, then we're going to reset it. Okay, so then we'll do extremes array. Count A is equal to 0. Because if we put it out here, then it would reset count A to 0, even while we're still trying to work through our ticks and setting our values. So we got to the final tick of the bar. We're resetting our count A. Cap A. I don't think I need cap A anymore. Cap A was for something else. Yeah, cap A was when we're doing trying to do it without a vector or an array. And we're not even doing a vector anymore, so we can get rid of that. I think that's it. Let's see if we get any errors, and then we'll go from there. Okay, count A. We need to verify that. Declare that. All right. Nope. All right. Nope. Value 1. Semicolon. Where? Why? Why? Oh, here. Yes. Of course. But of course, another one? Where? Why? Where? Here? No. Oh. Extra parentheses. Of course. All right. It completely didn't like that. What does it say? Dynamic array is out of bounds. Why would it be out of bounds? We're calling on the array here. We're asking for the max, this many bars. If it's out of bounds, I'm thinking that it's saying that it's trying to put the ass size inside the array at this index, but this index is a number too high for this. Oh, I see. No, do it, because we put count A at +1 there. And then we're just using count A here. And every time we run a new iteration, we're adding one there. And then we're adding an additional one here. So again, this is always staying one step ahead. A cap equals count A. I'll try this first. I'm going to try just muting that out. So all that's going to do is just tell us what the extreme is. So we'll come back over here. All right, I'm about to learn something about arrays today. Y'all taking notes? We'll learn something about arrays. Let's see. Turn it on and okay, so it worked that time. So our issue is not here. Our issue is here. And that's how you kind of debug. That's how you kind of go through the process of figuring out what your errors are. You just do one thing at a time. You kind of pull out things that you know should work, mute out or comment out things that may be questionable, and then go from there. All right, so value 1, extremes array. Okay, like I said, I don't think I've used this one before. I used one a little different than this, but extremes array should be of a cap. The only thing I can think will be a little bit different is that the value here that's saying how many indexes are in the array might have to be the number of indexes that we call to be in the array. It might have to be equal. I'm thinking that you can have 20 values in your array, but you're only asking it to look at 15, which doesn't necessarily make sense either. So maybe that's why it's not working. Because then you're not really going to get a true high or low of your array if you're only looking at a certain number. But then again, why does it even ask you how many you're looking at? If it knows that you're looking at the entire array, why would it even ask you that? I don't know. But verified that, and implicit conversion may lose bits of precision. Okay, now that's a new one. Extreme value is probably coming out as a integer. This is probably a double. A double is going to be like your basic numbers, you know, 1, 2, 3s, 4s, as far as I understand. That's the integer. A double is like 1.23, 1.78, that kind of thing. So our value, we are going to, I mean, we're pretty much looking for integers though. That's what we're looking for as the ass size. So we should be able to just go int. Let's make these integers. And then it can't tell us anything. Yeah, well, it decided that it wanted to. But it doesn't even know what we're looking for. All right, make it a double. All right, that got rid of our errors. Now, that one. Okay. Still says that the dynamic array index is out of bounds. Why would it be out of bounds? Well, I feel like we have to move extreme value down here. That's not the problem, though. This here is the problem. say it can't be a dynamic array. Is it possible that you have to put value 1 because this is outputting to value 2, value 3? You have to put them in that order. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Something about how this is calling the stream of the array. We haven't reset count A yet. We don't reset it until we get down here. All right, well, let's I'm going to print what count A is. If it's the last bar, right? Yeah. The last bar is printing 0. Oh, that's because we reset it just prior to. Now let's do it. Okay, but still, it's printing that count A is 0. Why would count A not be moving? Actually, something. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's turn this back on. All right, yep, it's printing zeros. So we are getting the end of the bars, but we're printing zeros for all of the count A's, which does not make any sense because when we get to a bar status of the first data stream, bar status being 1, that means that we're going to set our count A to plus equal 1, which means that we're going to add 1 to the value of count A just prior to that. And other than that, we haven't done anything with count A. So I guess count A is 0 up there too. If we take this out, now what's count A equal to? Yeah, still zeros. Well, we definitely need to put entry bar persist on. And I bet that little bugger turned off on the on the study too. Now when we verify it, still nothing. All right, let's go to the study. General C. Enter bar persists. Update value enter bar. That's got to be turned on. It's got to be turned on. Now look. Now it's working. Oh my God. That's probably what was keeping it from working for the last 10 to 15 minutes. It's those small nuances. It is those small nuances. All right. Give me something. Give me something. Nothing. Nada. Hanging out at 0. All right. But now, and with me messing with all that, did I mess with anything else? Hey, we don't need to keep printing this. But I tell you what, for some reason, this is only printing this one time. It should print it twice. Should print the number 2 times. It should print each number 2 times. It should print it down here. Well, not 2 times every time. I guess only on the first bar. All right. Well, let's get rid of this. Let me verify it. Now it's coming up with 0. Okay, count A should not be 0. If the bar status equals 2, that means that we're at the end of the bar. Okay, there we go. There we go. So now we are getting a count A. So the count A that's being delivered down here is the same count A that's up here. That same count A should be coming into this array function to find our max level. Okay, it still says the dynamic array is out of bounds. It would only be out of bounds if it's less than 0 or if it's greater than this count A. Let's take that +1 off there. But I'm pretty sure that's what I set it to. Yep, still says it's out of bounds. That array. Like I say, unless it comes down and runs one iteration and it's less than 0, it can't be less than 0. Starting off as 0. All right, let me see if I can find another function to find the max in the array. See what this one is. If it gives us an idea. There was one I used in another study. It wasn't array extreme. It was something else, but it was allowed you to use it in dynamic arrays. Yes, this end sets the number of elements size in the array to evaluate. So you can, I'll tell you what, I'm going to just change that number to a static number instead of making it the dynamic number is the count A. So I'm going to change it to a static number. And what else I can do is I can say if the array is not null. So if the array actually exists, a cap A, and it should, a cap A is not null, then value. Is that a workaround? Oh, same thing. Index is out of bounds. Dang it. Like I said, this is something that I really want to capture. I've been working a year trying to get this data. Possible. Yes. It's something. There's something else here. There's something else here. Right, let's see what's going on NQ on the large time frame on 5 minute. Ooh, my indicators are doing okay. Well, so there's ES. All right, so ES. That indicator bubble there to get in was a decent entry. Of course, you do have a risk down there. This one here, at least lets you know that you're at the start of the demand. Okay, I didn't even look to see that whether or not that's working. So that's cool. All right, so back on the 15-second part though. But I want to take those indicators and I want to superimpose some bid-ask and tick activity on top of that to give me better entries. But it won't work historically. So if you're looking at the chart and you go back 2 months or a month or a day, it won't show you that it was an entry then. But if you're running the screen live, where you do actually have bid and ask data, you have spread information, then it will give you entry signals. And you know, I don't care if I can't run it back and look back. If it works now, then I'm trying to make money now. I can't make money, you know, last week. So that's why I'm working through this script to get this to work for now. All right, so okay, so this other thing I said I was going to do. I was just going to move this to 0. Let's move this to 0, and it should not give us that the array is out of bounds because there will be no bounds at this point. It's at 0. You're evaluating 0 as your still didn't work. Okay, so this is again. Okay, so I'm really gonna have to do a workaround now. I'm gonna have to go through a loop. I hate this. I'm gonna ask somebody, one of the senior folks, about this because this is ridiculous. All right, so now we need to say if bar status is 2. So if we're at the end of the cycle, we're at the end of the bar. Now we're just going to take whatever's in the array and we're just going to go through it one by one as a loop and then just find the max. Okay, so we'll say repeat if array. Going to have to add a counter. Array, a cap a of count. We'll put count 2 is equal to is greater than a cap I guess we can do greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to a cap a of a bar ago. So we're adding 1 to that count every time before we start it. So count plus equals 1, which means that we're doing count 2 plus 1 every time it runs through a loop, every time it runs through an iteration. So it will start off that count 2 will be 0, and that way when it comes into the iteration the first time, it'll be 1. Either way, we're at 0 or 1, we're above the lower bounds of the array. The array will be from 0 to whatever that count, whatever the count number is. The count up here, actually. So we're going to say, and we'll just repeat this loop until count 2 count 2 equals the max that's in the array. And we set it to count a plus 1, so we just put that. So we're going to continue running this loop until we get to this number, and then we'll stop. And then when it comes back around and bar status equals 2 again, whenever, it'll reset that count 2 to 0, and that's fine. All right, so if a cap a of whatever index is greater than or equal to the index before it, then a cap a of that index that you're currently on equals what it is. It stays the same. It's that number. Else, if it's less than this one, then we're going to keep the one before it because we want to keep the greatest one. Else, a cap a, I got to change that other one, count 2 equals I don't know if we need an end there or not. Count. Yep, once I get done with this, I'm toast. I'm clearly not spelling and doing everything right. All right, so do we need an end? All right, there we go. We need another A there. And that. I did it that many times? Okay, all right, so we got that. Come back here. Status. Until count 2 equals count a plus 1. If bar status is greater than is equal to 2 and count a is greater than or equal to 1 and a cap a is not null. A cap a has to be this. A. Try that. I think figured I'd get something eventually, but what in the world? Let's see. Nope, nothing. Okay, now it shot it back saying that it's out of bounds. It's something simple here. Something simple. Unless this isn't actually setting the array properly. Dynamic array 7. Why is that in a Boolean? Why is that in a Boolean? It's in a true false. That doesn't even make sense. It looks like that's a method that you want to execute that to happen. Change the size of a newly created dynamic array to a maximum index of value 7. Why is that in a Boolean? Returns a Boolean value indicating success or failure. Resize the dynamic array. Array name, max index. Returns a Boolean. All right. Well, we're gonna set it as a Boolean. I don't think that's the way to do it. But who am I and what do I know? Condition 1. All right, set that. Come back here. Go to that status. All right, so we'll see what it does. No, nothing. Still out of bounds. Our set is equal to 1, then begin. We're going to do count A plus equal to 1. So now we're going to the next one, and then we're going to, I don't think we need this. I think this is just I think it's just assigning that, whether or not it worked or not, assigning that to. I'll tell you what, we'll do that. We'll do that, and then we'll ask it if it updated anything. So then we'll ask it to print status condition 1, because it should keep updating it, right? And so it should keep saying, with every tick, it should update this, and that'll give you a true here. Since we put condition 1 in here, right beside it, within every tick, then this should print multiple times. And since it doesn't like everything else, we're just going to turn everything else off for the time being. Back over here, bring it back into the script. Okay, so it's printing a bunch of trues. So it should be updating, and since it is working, it should be updating the max count A plus 1. The only other thing I can think of is take away the plus 1. but I'm putting the +1 so that whatever value, whatever iteration of tick we are at, this is the iteration of tick inside each bar. So whatever iteration of tick we're at, we're going to set the max of the array at 1 above that. And that should be fine. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that. And then you're going to assign the value of the ass size to the array at index count A. Remember, this is still below the max index. No problems. And we technically really didn't even have any problems that we know of until we got to this cycle where we're trying to assess the array. You know what? I believe for most of those these arrays where you're doing the extreme, like I say, you're looking at anything dealing with assessing an array, it's usually over 0. Yeah, the value for the size input parameter should always be a whole number greater than 0 and is typically equal to the number of data. Yeah, so typically equal to the number of data elements in the array. It doesn't have to be equal to it, but I think that's where our problem is, because here we kind of left it kind of loose. We said that well, it's got to be over 0. So this essentially would be over. This would never be 0, because in the case that count A was ever 0, it would well, one, we need to reset count A to be in 0. Well, we did it down here. We muted it out for another reason. That's all right. So it is greater than 0, because anytime 0 comes into the equation up here, it's always added to on the first time that it sets the max anyway. So no issues there. But I think when we get down here, count 2 equals 0, and then we're adding 1 to it, so that should be fine, because now we're doing the count of 1 at the minimum. 1 greater than or equal to cap A of 1 is greater than or equal to cap A of 0. That might be the problem. But there is an A cap A of 0 though. Let's start it with 2. Start this at 1. So we'll miss the first tick, but we'll get everything else. And then that way this this first historical, this first one that we're referencing back will only be of cap 1 and not cap 0. Count 2. Then I feel like we'll be losing a tick, and I don't want to lose any ticks. I feel like we'll be losing the first tick. This is still outside the bounds. Sheesh. Now I feel like I need to set a vector. And then just... But I want to work through this array though. BS, because I've already worked by now. Where is my... What did I do with the other function? Oh, the max or the extremes array. I got rid of that, but it doesn't matter because there's something going on with... I'd like to be able to see what the max number is of the array. Let's do this. Let's just see if there's anything in position 1 on the array. See, is it working through anything at any point? So we're just going to print what's in the position 1, the index 1. And if there's nothing there, then that means that nothing is being pushed to the array. Yeah. See, I'm still getting that. And the only reason why I would get that if there's nothing in that first position. And there should at least be something in the first position because we assigned it as A cap A. Now, you know what? I'm going to try. I bet you this works. I bet you this works. I bet you this works. It does not work. It does not work. It doesn't even work. All right. A cap A. Got zeros. So there's nothing. So the index is not updating. Now I'm gonna do it one more way, and we'll just see. So we know that in these bars, there might be how many ticks? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. All right, 6 ticks there. So I'm gonna put a max array. We're gonna set it, well, we're gonna try it this way first. We're gonna set it as 30. So just in case there's 30 ticks, we're gonna set it at 30. All right, verify that, come back over here, edit studies. This is gonna let us know if there's something wrong with the way that that's processing for a maximum array there. All right, come back here, largest, status, close that. And still says it's out of bounds, which is crazy. So I think that this is not working at all. This is not working at all. This is not updating. So we're gonna get that out of here. And I hate it when things don't work, but now let's just set this to a static array. We're gonna set it to 30, and then we're gonna verify that. Come over here. All right, so now let's see what we get. Still on. Study attempt to reference data past the bounds of the array. Yeah. Damn it, it did it again. All right. Now this has gotten super simple at this point. There's no reason why our array should not be working at this point. Inch-bar updating is turned on. Count A is an inch-bar persist. Print, that's false. Bar status equals 1. Then we're going to begin. Count A. Plus equals 1, which we know that works. Now we're going to assign. Let's just make this 300. I don't know how many ticks there are in these bars, but it's making me believe that it's a lot or something. But either way, 30 should have worked for those. I can do one more solid. We're going to print count A, and then we're going to reset count A. Does anybody see what's happening here? It's printing ones and then a 0. Why? Okay. Well, I get why it's doing that here. Because this is supposed to be running inch-bar. This is actually running at every bar, every tick. Because it's okay to run for every tick. Oh my goodness. So, we're gonna do bar status of 1, data stream 1 is equal to 2. Then we're going to begin. We're going to print that count A, and then we're going to assign count A back to 0. Then we're going to end. Okay. All right, so now we got 34. So there should have been 34 ticks in that bar that just closed. 34 ticks. And this script that I have here is relating the number of ticks to the volume to the size of the bar. So that one had 34. This next one had 35. That next one had 33. So I'll have about 33 or so ticks. Again, when I set up the array to have 300 spaces, there's no reason why this would be saying that it's out of the bounds. The array. print the A cap A of first position. All right, so we're getting zeros for all that. And I think it's only because zero is assigned here, so zero is the initial value, and nothing got put into this array. I'm really feeling like the problem is right here, which is this is the basic concept of an array. So let me go back and review the basic concept. I thought I had understood how to assign a value to an array, which is not that difficult to do. Yeah. That's what I have. A cap A, count A equal low. Now, you know, I've done stuff like this before, been super frustrated with it, come back, put up the exact same thing, and then it'll work. Okay, so for kicks and giggles, because again, I don't give up on anything. Flaw of mine. Bid-ask max per bar. Just gonna do it all over. I don't even need to use collections for an array, but I'll put it anyway because it is a type of collection. Array is A cap A, and it's not used anywhere else in the TradeStation form. So A cap A, and then we're gonna put we'll just put 500 spaces. That's plenty. It only needs 300 or 30. All right. We're gonna assign it all to 0. Then we're gonna say if bar status of 1, the data number is equal to what? It's equal to 1, which is an inside tick bar. Then we're gonna begin. Begin what? We're gonna start off counting. So normally our count is at 0. We're gonna add 1 to it. So let's start it here at 0. Come down here. We've added 1 to it. All right, and then we're going to say A cap A, which is our array of the index count is equal to. We'll say the low. We don't want to confuse it because we know it doesn't like ass size and all that kind of stuff. All right, so then when we get done with that, we're going to print A cap. Let's just print A cap A of 1. So it should print the first one that comes up, and then we're going to end it, and then we can reset count to equal to 0. All right, verify that. No errors. Yeah, I know, because I kind of got this figured out a little bit. So why is it giving me so much trouble? I don't know. All right, now update input bar. Yes, we'll do that. And now we have it down here. And we're looking for the print function. We're going to turn off the print on this one. We'll turn this first one off altogether. Okay, turn that off. Clear that. All right, so now when we get a new bar, nope, not even a new bar. So now it's printing. Now it's printing our values, our lows to our A cap A. Mother. All right, so whatever. Let's, instead of that, we're going to put ass size, which is what we're looking for, right? Looking for ass size. Verify that. Is it going to give us ass size? Yes, it did. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. But how come it didn't do that before? Oh my God. All right, so now we need to pretty much take all the logic from the prior one and put it over here, because we know that that works. All right, so we're going to come down here. We're going to say if bar status of the first data stream is equal to 2, so it's the end of the bar, then we're going to begin what? We are going to repeat. We're going to evaluate for the highest number. So we're going to say count ask equal to plus equal to 1. So we're going to add 1 to it every step along the way. Go back up here, make sure that we have declared that. Count A, 0. All right, come back down here, get it going again. Now, what we're looking for is if count, so 1, we need bar status be equal to, and we also need the array to not be null. Well, the vector won't be null, the array will be there. So by the end of the second bar, by the time the bar ends, we should have something in this data anyway. So I don't think we need to do anything for verifying that. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We'll just say this. If count A, maybe this is my downfall. I don't know. If count A is greater than 0, which it should be, because we pretty much said it right here. Okay, count A is greater than 0, then, and we're going to start a whole new begin process. It's looking real crazy. Begin. If the array cap A of count A is greater than or equal to A cap A of a bar before it, then A cap A of count A equals A cap A of this current bar. Else A cap A is going to be equal to the value a bar ago. And after we get done with that, now we can restore count A to 0, and we can end the whole thing. repeat, or do this until, I guess I'm gonna have to do that after, until count A equals count. Once it's equal to count, then it'll stop repeating. If that, then begin that. Then we're going to end this. And also at the very end, we'll reset. Oh, we already reset the count up here. Maybe that's my problem, because I reset the count up here. We need to reset it if bar status equals 2. All right. We have count and count A. 2. A cap A. Everything is A cap. Count greater than or equal to 1. There's something else I wanted to do. We're going to say if count A is greater than or equal to 1. All right, verify. Oh, what? Already, we're trying to access stuff outside the bounds of the array. We went 500 on that. Until count A equals count. Count A bar status equals 2, then we're going to begin. End it. Woo! Count A plus equal to 1. Count A is greater than or equal to 1, which it should be. I'm going to do this. I don't want to do this. I think it's dumb, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because you can't try to access the array if it's outside the bounds. So from 0 to 100 is fine. Anything, 500. Anything over 500 is too much. So that's why I'm saying count A has got to be greater than or equal to 1. But I guess I also need to say count A is greater than or is less than or equal to 500. That way it's not going over 500. Why would it go over 500? I have no idea. There's not 500 ticks in here. That's ridiculous. So, and count A is less than or equal to 500. That would be stupid. And verify. What's it doing? I feel like it's in the infinite loop. Yep. I feel like it's in the infinite loop. Yo! Well, yeah, Infinite loop detected in this study. Check all for while. Obviously repeat statements. But it's not an infinite loop. If count A is greater than or equal to 1 and count A is less than or equal to 500, you're going between, well, I can kind of see it a little bit. No, I can't see it. Because if count A actually does get up to 500, then when it comes into this if statement, it will be shut down. Well, it won't be shut down. At 499, it'll be fine, because then 499 equals 500. It'll come into here. It'll work itself out. Then it'll come out of here. It'll go back up as count A equaling 500. Now it'll be 5. Well, I guess then it was 500. Now it's 501. And 501 does not fit. It's not an infinite loop. A plus 1. If count A is greater than or equal to 1, count A is less than or equal to 1. Again, this is why information technology and coding is, that's why these people make the big bucks. Because it ain't easy. And I'm pretty much tapped. I'm way past tapped. Let's go A cap 10. Let's see what it is. Just gonna put this up here. If the bar status is equal to 2, and we're gonna print that. Yeah. So let's just see what's in A cap 10. A cap 10. Okay, so it's printing something. It's printing it's printing what's in 10. No, it's not. Now it's printing what's in 10, which looks like a bunch of zeros. So you mean to tell me all the ticks that's going on in one of these bars, all the ticks that's going on, there are not 10 ticks? Try 5 ticks. I know one of them bars has 5 ticks. Something is just really wrong today. Closing tick of a bar. Okay, all these values are 0, so it's not assigning bar status of 1 equals 2, I'm gonna say then print end of bar, because that's essentially what it is. Okay, yeah, so we have plenty of end of bars, right? So that's not the problem. Bar status works, print works, count works. This is not working. The array is, you know what? I'm just going to mute this out for whatever reason. That should not be an issue. But let's mute that out. Let's set this for 10. Let's see, or at 5, back where we have 5. Let's see what we have on the 5th iteration. Zeros. That should print more than one time. This should print with every tick, because in here we're on the every tick part. That should print every tick, and that's not. Every time this thing ticks, wait for it, tick tick. Yep, okay. So it is printing on every tick, so that's working. So like I said, the bar status is working. To begin the count 1, I know we looked at the count before. The count is working. This right here is not working. It's not assigning this value to the A cap. Now, when we did it earlier though, when we did it with the low, I know we got something for the first place. Yeah, we got something for the first place. What about the second place? Nothing for the second place, so it's not. That is driving me bananas. So I've got one more idea. This idea says that for count right here, we should just put count plus 1. That's not what count is equal to. So what in the world is count equal to? Because whatever count is equal to will go right here. And then that assigns the index. We're getting a bunch of 1s. Well, in that case, that would make sense that we're only assigning to the index of 1. Why though? Are we only assigning to the index of 1? Why is it not adding another 1 to the count before it? We looked at count earlier and it was adding to the one before it. Yeah. Do remember the inch bar persists. It does have to be inch bar persists. Now, let's go. Let's go. There we go. We're getting some numbers there now. There we go. All right. Turn inch bar persists on. Again, that can be your downfall. All right, so we got count as inch bar persists. Turn that on. Okay, so now we're gonna print count. Yep, we already got that print count. So now let's print count the array of 5, which we didn't get anything before. That's because we didn't have count turn on the inch bar persist. was that? So every time when we get to the end of a bar, end of a tick, we get that end of bar statement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks. We should have count equaling 5, and then a cap A of 5 should be equal to this. It's not assigning. It's not assigning it. I'm gonna get EL system out of here too. I don't know if that's what's messing it up, but something is really screwy. You know what? I don't think you can. Can you make an array intrabar persist? If so, then that's my problem. And that was my problem. Yo, I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm so done. You can make an array intrabar persist. I mean, is it? Oh God. All right. All right. So what? An hour? 2 hours. But again, this is something I've been wanting to do for probably a year, 2 years on this platform. So it's worth it. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. All right. But 2 hours? All right. Let's get this out of here. Everything else should be pretty much set up, ready to go. Might have to look back over the logic, but move this back to ass size, which it was. Count plus 1, that ass size bit bar, then print. We don't need the print statement. Then the begin, count A plus 1, that is that to 500. We can probably go back in there and add that max statement. All right, I verified it. Let's see what we get. Oh, we haven't plotted anything. If a cap of A is greater than or equal to, then a cap, and I realize one thing I need to do is put a different variable. A cap, I'm gonna put a cap return. So array cap, shoot, I don't even know what cap was supposed to stand for anymore. A cap return equals a cap equals that current one, else if a cap of A is of our current count is greater than or equal to the one before it, then a cap return is equal to a cap current one, else a cap return equals a cap return of the bar ago equals a cap return equals a cap A of count A minus 1. Woo! Sheesh. Plot a cap A. Now we're going to plot the a cap R. And I got to feel, well, so this happens at the final bar. So this does not have to be intrabar persist. Anything that you need to do, it's got to happen with inside the bar, needs to be labeled as intrabar persist. Everything. Son of a gun. I got it now. I got it now. You can't pull that over on me twice now. I got it now. We're ready to go. Give me a little bit of a headache, but you know, these are the breaks. Okay, let me look back over this because I think it has caught me in an infinite loop again. The loop. Alright, so bar status equals 2. Then we're going to begin count A plus or equal 1. I'm pretty sure I got to reset count A. Count A plus or equal to 1. If count A is greater than or equal to 1 and it's less than 500, then we want to begin and count A is greater than 0, which means that we do have something in the array. Then we're going to begin, we're going to take count A and we're going to make it equal to 1. Count A is greater than or equal to now this might be part of the problem here, because we want to continue this until count is equal to count A is equal to count. We technically don't want to go too high. Count A, this count is going to be a static number. It's going to come from here. We just need it to be greater than 0 so that we actually do have a tick on the bar. But then we want to say, we want to keep running this iteration starting at 1. Start at 1 here. We are starting at 1. So we need to reset this. So whenever we come into this, we need to make sure that count A is at 0, and then we'll add 1 to it, and then we run the loop. To be count A, we're going to add 1, so that'll start us at 1. And as long as count A is between 1 and 500, we're good to go. So then we're going to begin. We're going to go ahead and execute this. So we'll find our return value, and then we're going to end that. And then we will continue running it and running it until count A is greater than or equal to the count. Until count A is greater than or equal to count. Yeah. And now count, you want to make that back equal to 0, because we're starting over. All right. All right, so we got something on the screen. Not quite. I don't see any numbers there. Should show us some numbers or something. But either way, you know, finally found it at an hour 45 minutes in. That's a big realization, is that you have to do inch bar persist, because we are using on the array. So do inch bar persist on the array because we're using the array within the bar, within the tick. So you make sure that is still on there. Yep. Okay. So now we just have to go back through this logic, make sure it makes sense. If bar status of 1 equals 2 and count is greater than 0, which it should be, then begin. well, count A won't be greater than, yeah. Well, count A won't be greater than 0 because, well, it likely would when we get down here, but we hadn't got down here yet. We'll never get into here. What? Where's count A? Count A is right here. We'll never get into here to add 1 to it if it never lets us in because we started out at 0. So I think I can just get rid of this one altogether. Bar status equals 2, then begin. Count A is going to be equal to 0. Yeah. All right, let's try that. There we go. So at least we have that line. Come on. 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 Yeah! Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Come on, one more. If we get one more, we got it. If we get one more, yes! Oh, I've got to go take a walk. I have got to go take a walk. Like I said, 2 hours in, really, I solved it in 20 minutes. However, damn it, 20 minutes is fine, but you have to know that you got to know what you don't know. And what I didn't know was that you have to enter bar persist, declare this variable because you're using it within the inside of the bar, within the enter part of the bar. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. All right, so now I need to plot one for, God damn, I need to plot one for the bids. So, and I really wish I could have left this in the, and I mean, I can go back and redo it, but I really don't want to. Maybe tomorrow. Like I said, just for the exercise of it. But I really want to use this in the vector form or in the dynamic array form so that we're not holding 500 open spaces just in case we need them. So I need to reset that so it doesn't run my computer ragged. All right, so for that same count, because we're in the same bar, for that same count, we're going to do A cap B, which is going to equal the bid size. Okay. All right, so count is fine. That's the same. All that's going to be the same. Count A is going to be equal to the same because this is just the count inside the bar. So that's fine. All this. Now we just need to put another statement here that's identical to the one above it, but has a different reference for the bids. Boom. A cap B. And this will be relative to count A is fine. A cap B of a bar go. A cap R. I'll put 2. A cap B. A cap R2. A cap B. All right, and then we're also going to plot A cap R2. Blue is for the bids. I'll have to figure out if that's the way I want that. All right, then we got to go back up here. A cap R2 does not have to be enter bar persist because we're using it on the final tick of the bar. But we do need to declare another array that is also enter bar persist. Enter bar persist, guys. Eesh. Maybe that's why that other one isn't working right. If you remember, I was talking about that other script that I have on the chart, and I said it looked like it was working right, and then it seemed to stop working right. I think that's because that one also was not declared as enter bar persist, and that's why it looked like it was doing something every so many bars, is because it was working on the close of the bars. I'm betting you. I betcha. I betcha. All right. Very good. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Now you see how these are jumping around here now? These are jumping around inside that bar. These here are just only holding the max at which they went. See how these are jumping around? The ask sizes are trying to figure out what the ask will be, what's the balance. See how that red one jumped way up? Yeah. So now I'm able to capture the max move within that bar. That's what I'm going for. That's what you see how that one jumped way up to like 125? That red one did. And see here, now we captured it. Now we captured that 125 or whatever that was, that maximum. Right? Now we captured it. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now you can see who's leading the race. Because when you look at let me pull up my matrix here. When you pull this guy up here, and what are we on, NQ? You pull this guy up here. I don't know what strategy I have on right there, but apparently it thought that was a buy. Yeah, anyway. But when you look at NQ, we're not even looking at the chart. We're looking over here. So we're looking at the bid and the ask. We're looking at the kind of the depth of the market, right? So you see the sizes here. Now I used to sit over here and look at these bid size, ask size. I used to look at that and see if I could find when one spiked up, when one didn't, kind of a thing. And then also, what, up here, bid size, ask size. I always sat here and stared at this, see if I could find when a spike up happened. Just stared at it, And then once I found a spike, I'd come over here and I'd maybe make a note, right? But now that I've got this new indicator, now the chart is doing it for me. Look at that. The chart up here showed that there was a significant high level of bids that came in the market right here. And what did the chart do? Push down. Or ask. What did I have? Do I have that as red as ask? Yeah, the red or the ask. High level of ask came in, much higher than the bids anyway, right? And it pushed down. Makes friggin' sense to me. Oh! I'm on it. I'm on it. Yeah. Caught the top of that move. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, but we're going to see tomorrow. It took me 2 hours to get this figured out today. And it might not be the top of the move, but it was certainly the top of it's certainly a supply zone, right? Gosh! I mean, you can't clap for yourself. Can't nobody else clap for you. All right, so not only did we get a high number of asks relative to the bids, but we got a large number of activity here too. Wait. What now? What's going on up here? Oh man, that does feel good though. But this is very similar to this one up here. But this one up here, again, it's not the, yeah. So anyway, I think I just explained it. You see how this number here comes all the way up to 140, 142? I was looking at this one, I was saying, hey, wait a minute, I've got the same thing here. You see how this peaks above it? It does peak above it, and this peaks above it, and looks similar in shape. However, this one peaks way up. This one peaks up to 140. That's where the highest number of asks was. This one here only goes to 118. So it captured it kind of mid swing. And again, depending on where you were on the bar, this only captures it at the end of the bar at bar status equal 2, right? This captures anything that happens between bar status 1 all the way up to bar status 2. So this captures the entire measure, right? So here, if you look at this, you're like, well, it's a little bit higher, but it's not significantly higher. So I don't know whether to treat that as significant or not. But here you can see that's obviously significant. So yeah. All right, so we'll just keep looking. We'll just keep watching. And see what we can make of it. See what we can make of it. All right, guys. Well, I'm not gonna hold you any longer. For the folks who skipped ahead, you are, yep, you probably got my message. But for the folks who didn't skip ahead and you actually watched the entire 2 hours to see what the process looks like of debugging and figuring this stuff out, you're the ones who's really going to catch a lot of value. But if you want to see how things ended, at the end, the main takeaway note is use intra-bar persist anytime you're within a bar. Oh my God. All right, guys, with that, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.